Aztecs, leading enterprise telecom brand.
So, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. So, welcome to the webinar presented by Aztecs, which is Disrupting Enterprise Communication with AI PBX. So, as Firdausi mentioned earlier, it would be great if everyone could go on mute. And if you have any doubts throughout the webinar, any questions, you can always put it in the chat, and then we will at the end of the webinar we will come back to it, and then we can go through it so that everyone knows the questions and everyone gets answers as well. So all questions are appreciated. Please feel free to enter it in the chat at any time. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so we'll start with the basic definition. What is an AI? So the AI PBX developed by Aztec is the first of its kind. When I say it is the first of its kind, no other organization has now taken a PBX and then connected it to given it AI functionality. So it is more like it will serve your offices better, make applications or organizational processes easier. So it is a disruptive transformation in the industry. Coming to the second point, it is a disruptive transformation in the industry because till today, a PBX system was known to do telecommunication. So it would call extensions, it would call phone numbers. It was your telecommunication or your telecom platform. But when an AI PBX comes, it changes the whole definition of what a PBX is. The definition of or the functionality of a PBX is elevated to beyond what a traditional PBX is. For example, now with the AI PBX, you can obviously connect to people, which is a functionality of the previous PBX, but now you can send requests, schedule meetings, you can turn off lights, you can control many other aspects of the organization. Now, the PBX can understand conversations in real time. So it is not that we would, if only if you say call so and so, would the PBX understand? You can use free language. It is more like you are talking to another person to say that. For example, if I wanted to book a meeting, I can have different ways, or different people can have different ways they form a sentence. So the AI is modeled to understand natural languages. So from what you say, the AI would understand what your intent is and then perform tasks accordingly. So making it more, or the model is developed so that it feels very human-like. It feels like you are actually interacting with a human on your day-to-day basis. Now, hybrid workspaces. So when another big implementation of AI would be in the current hybrid workspaces, where you have people coming in a few days, you have another set of people coming in a few days. Now, suddenly, if I wanted to call or I wanted to get in touch with the accounts team or the admin team, because I don't come in that frequently, I really would not know how to get in touch. Now, in terms of having the AI, when it's an AI PBX, you really don't need it. So, for example, I know that my coworker's name is Abu. Now, I don't know how to get in touch with Abu. I only have his email, but I want to call Abu and tell him something. I can pick up the phone, so every organization so you will hear me referring a lot to Jesse. So don't get confused. Jesse is the name we have given our AI PBX. So for example, Google has Apple has Siri, then there's Alexa. For us, it's Jesse. So you can just pick up the phone and tell Jesse, connect me to Abu. And then since it's connected to your PBX, it already knows what Abu's extension is. Or you could say things like, Jesse, can you please ask maintenance to clean my desk? So then maintenance, it would send a request to maintenance. So all these I will show you in detail throughout the whole presentation, where you can where you would see and understand and experience the whole AI. Now, it is a personal assistant at each desk. It is not that the Jesse, when your bot is trained and the model is developed, that everyone shares a instance. It is that it is one server, but it acts as a personal preference for you. And over time, it learns what you would like and what your preferences would be. So it would be modeled for you. For example, if you are someone who frequently wishes everyone happy birthday, for example, I am someone who wants to wish everyone happy birthday, and I don't want to forget this. Now, how would I do that? So once Jesse learns your pattern, what could happen is Jesse would come, and every morning, if there is a birthday, Jesse could initiate a call to you, reminding you that, see, there is this birthday. Do you want to connect to the person to make a wish or to wish the person? Or things like, if you're a forgetful person and you want to set reminders, set maybe you have a meeting at 4:30, 4:15, you want the bot to call you and remind you, so that you have a meeting with so and so, just a reminder. So things like this can happen. Also, scheduling meetings. So when you schedule a meeting, it is personalized for you. As in, it is not scheduled for the organization, it is scheduled on your calendar. So, sorry, Jesse can be integrated into each of those systems. So again, as I mentioned before, this will be more clear and you would get more ideas on how Jesse would work or how the AI PBX would work once we go through a few more examples of the AI PBX. Okay, so this is how it works on a brief, on a very up on a surface level is, you can have two models. Say for example, now you're an organization without a PBX. We could always install AI PBX server, which again users would connect via extension and then directly interact with the bot. Now, there is another model. Say you're an organization that has an existing PBX, but you want to upgrade your PBX so that it can do all these functionalities. It can do all it has AI integrated into it. So what we would do is we can bring in our voice gateway connected to your existing PBX and then upgrade your PBX to a smarter PBX. So both of these models are possible. You can either have a separate entity itself, or we can upgrade your existing PBX. So that's how, to one of the few models, how this could work. So after the sorry, after this, what I as I mentioned before, we can always go to examples and to understand it better. So to bring it into a to first we have to walk to run. So everyone's always familiar, if you've used Alexa or Siri or Google Home. We'll start with familiar features, things like sing me a song. Now, sing me a song is, you can go and tell Jesse you want to hear a song, sing me a song, anything in natural language. So, and the request would be sent to the server, and then you can either take it from your local repository, we can connect it to a local streaming file, radio file, anywhere where there is audio available. So, for example, let me show you an example. So, I have a soft phone sitting on my desk here. So I'm dialing.
Welcome to Aztec. I'm Jesse. How may I help you today?
Sing me a song.
I'm going to play you my favorite song. Let me know if you would need any other help.
So it understood. So here, for example, I said I wanted to hear a song. I told Jesse, sing me a song. I can tell it, play my favorite song. So it's just that as the examples go, we'll increase the complexity, but these are the basic ones so that everyone understands and gets into the flow with us. So next, another basic one would be, what is the weather today? So these are things that everyone would have already experienced when they're experiencing general AIPB, general bots. So for example,
Welcome to Aztec. I'm Jesse. How may I help you today?
what is the weather today?
Looking up the weather today in Bangalore. The temperature in Bangalore now is 25. Let me know if you would need it.
So now the bot understood that I was asking about the weather. So now Jesse told me the AI PBX. So the request for the weather is sent to the AI PBX, and the AI PBX is looking up its repository to know the weather. So This could be that it could be an API, it could be anywhere, so that we can get information like this. Another simple one is tell me a joke. So currently the jokes in Jessie aren't very great jokes. She's bad at telling jokes, but we can always improve the jokes she says as we go.
Welcome to Aztec. I'm Jessie. How may I help you today?
Tell me a joke.
Let me think of something funny. Guest at a restaurant. I refuse to eat this roast beef. Please call the manager. Waiter, that's no use. He won't eat it either. Let me know if you would.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, the jokes Jessie says right now is not that funny, but as we go, we can make her say funnier jokes as well. So so these are the basic ones. So now, because we are a telecommunications company and this is an AI PBX, we obviously have to bring telecommunication integrations into this. So making a call. Now, making a call could be like the previous example I said, you want to connect to anyone in your office, you know his name. 90% of the time, you don't know his extension. Now, you don't need to know his extension. It's like saying nowadays, because we have smartphones, we stopped remembering phone numbers. We have it all saved and then we select. Rather than that, now we just have to say, call Abu or call anybody, so that the bot will automatically find the extension and call it. So now in the example that I've given here, what you see is connect my call to so and so. It sends a request to the AI PBX. So now the first call it'll try calling the extension. Now, if the extension is not available, Jessie can always ask you, should I call the phone number or should I call the person's mobile? Now, any of these examples or any of these can be. So this is it's not limited to this. It could be that after this, if both extension and mobile phone is not available, then you want to send an SMS to the person or you want to reply his extension. So all this can be modeled for the organization. Depending on how the organization wants to define it, it could be customized. For example,
Welcome to Aztec. I'm Jessie. How may I help you today?
call Abu.
Sorry, sir. It will be video recorded, sir. Live.
Sure, connecting your call to Abu now. Looks like we cannot reach the person you are trying at the moment. And yet, if you would like
WhatsApp
to
product,
call his
okay.
mobile phone, else say no.
Product business was a CMS.
Yes.
Okay, I'm connecting the call to his mobile phone. Let me know if you would need any other.
So then a call comes to my mobile phone. So at my extension, I've already said I'm not available because I'm here doing the webinar. So now there is no, so then first it tried my extension. So first it looked up the PBX phone book. It tried my extension. Because I was not available, it tried my mobile phone. Now, again, like I said, the flow could be much more complicated than this as well. Depends on how the organization wants to define it. Same thing to send an SMS. I can tell Jessie to send an SMS to someone where what would happen is I can say send an SMS to Abu. Now, Jessie will look up the phone book. So because it has my extension and phone number, then it asks me, what would you like to send? So I can say, please cancel my meeting for for tomorrow, or we have to reschedule our meeting for tomorrow. Now it would automatically send the SMS to Abu saying, please reschedule my meeting for tomorrow. So that is one example as well. Now, it is now we can do integrations with other services as well. So other services, other systems. So for example, integrations with CRMs, ERPs. If it could be that you want to now apply for a leave, you could send a request to Jessie saying send my leave application for Monday. Now it would send the request to the IPPBX and then it would raise a ticket in the HR system, tag it to the HR saying Abu has requested for a leave and so and so. So now it's not only that, we can also raise it to his team manager. Anyway, the flow is now it could be also things like we can connect it to their sales. A salesperson can always ask, what is my monthly sales? What is my current monthly sales? What is my current monthly targets? So based on that, it can check the CRM and then pass the data back. So all this could be possible for connecting. So even things like it identifies where the request should go. For example, when it said I want to I want to apply for a leave on Monday, it automatically understood that the request is for the HR. Now, at the same time, if you have guests in your office, and uh, you want to say maybe order 5 teas to the conference room. Now this request, you would generally say call the office admin or the manager or whoever handles this to get this. So now what can happen is you can call Jesse, say send 5 coffees to the conference room, and automatically it could raise a ticket to the admin. So it also identifies what is the route it should take, or rather, who is the action intended for. It not only this, so even things like maybe if you are a huge organization, 1,000 employee organization, it wouldn't be practical for anybody to call in the admin, say you have multiple meetings happening concurrently. So now you want each meeting has its own demands, and it would be impossible for a team to pick up the phone and answer all the time. Rather, if they got ticket by ticket by ticket, they could close every ticket and then tasks would be simpler. Uh, yeah, so we can always integrate with CRMs, ERPs, or any other solution, booking softwares. So any software, if it's possible to integrate, like I've always mentioned, if there is an API for it, we can always integrate with it. We would never shy away from any of these. So that is integrations with CRMs and ERPs. Now announce to speakers. So as many of you know, Aztecs has launched IP-based speakers. So now even IP-based, not just Aztecs, any speakers that are IP-based or where you can connect, we can announce to it. Say, for example, if I'm a school principal and I want to tell the students to come in because it's an urgency, or uh, the period is got cancelled. What I can do is I can pick up the phone. I can either dial to the speaker and just announce, or if I'm in middle of task, I can just tell Jesse, tell the students to come in, and the Jesse can make the announcement onto the speakers. So these speakers can be classified by zone. So maybe one team wants to announce the technical floor. We can also set defaults. So based on your defaults, if you don't mention that you want to announce technical floor, it could always be whichever default zone that you would want to announce to. That's also possible. Now, control smart devices. So, like I mentioned before, now in the current time, a lot of offices, you really don't know where the switches are, what the AC is, how to control the AC. Maybe you're sitting under the AC and it's too cold. Now finding the AC remote, all that would be a task. Rather than that, Jesse can connect to systems like this. So turning on lights, turning on ACs, turning on other systems could be done hassle-free with the AI PBX. So by what I mean is you can always go and say turn off lights, control my AC, increase the temperature of the AC. All that can be done through the AI PBX. So scheduling meetings. Now, scheduling meetings is where it really gets interesting. So scheduling, so as you would have noticed throughout the examples that we are going, we're slowly increasing it in complexity so that everyone eases into it, like I mentioned before. Now, when I'm scheduling meetings, there is a two-way interaction. So for example, I can scheduling meetings can also have forms integrated into it. As in now, for example, if I say uh, block my calendar for 11 a.m. I'll use the same example here. Block my calendar for 11 a.m. for a meeting with Abu. Now, what the bot would do is some systems always ask you things like, would you would you want, what is the description? So meetings would have, say, start time, end time, description of the meeting, attendance, who else is in the loop for the meeting. So when I say block my calendar for 11 a.m. for a meeting with Abu, I know the bot knows what the start time is, bot knows the participant, but bot wants to know what the description of the meeting would be. So then the bot can always ask you if there is any missing information in this. The bot can always ask you, what would you like the description of the meeting to be? Or say, for example, I say block my calendar for a sales meeting with Abu. Now I know that the meeting is a sales meeting. The bot knows the meeting is a sales meeting. The bot knows that the meeting is with Abu. Now the bot would ask me, what time would you want to start the meeting? And then what is the duration of the meeting? So all this, so if your calendar application requires these fields, we can always set it so that these fields are asked pre-hand to schedule the meeting. Now, to schedule these meetings, and then it would automatically block it on your calendar. So this, we have done integrations with Teams, Google Calendar, so Outlook. So all of that could be integrated into the AI PBX. Now, smart incoming call manager. So when in the previous slide, I said that this is scheduling meetings was a two-way thing. So this is a smart incoming call manager is a continuation of that. So for example, smart incoming call manager is, for example, when you have a meeting. Now, for example, the webinar today, the webinar is scheduled from 3 o'clock. So I would not be able to attend calls from 3 o'clock. Now, what can happen is I can always go and I can tell Jesse. So Jesse, the bot already, since it's integrated with my calendar, it knows that I won't be available during this time. So whenever someone calls in to my extension, the bot can check my calendar and say, sorry, the person you're trying to reach, or Abu, is not currently available. Please call again later. So this also gives the impression that it is not that because you're not picking up the phone that you're not there, it's that you're not available to pick up the phone, or if you could block your calendar for any other reason. So incoming call managers, the incoming calls could be handled or pre-filtered based on this before it lands to your desktop. Or when when you're not in office. Now, days that you're not in office, you could always, since it's integrated with your leave system or your attendance systems, when someone calls in, it could always say, sorry, he's not in office today. If the organization allows you to call people who are not in office directly on their phone, Jesse could ask you, do you want me to connect to his mobile phone? And then it could connect to his mobile phone. So any of those flows are always allowed. So as in always possible to do. Sorry, one second. So that's what. So based on your organization, or based on how you want the organization, or you want the model to be developed, it could be developed. It's not that there is a standard way and it is a package that's just given and then your organization would have to mold around it. It is more the model would be molded around your organization, and then it slowly learns what your organization demands are, and then adjusts itself. So a lot of intelligence, a lot of uh, ease of use, highly scalable, and highly integratable. So those are very important in when we are looking at technologies that can come forward, or technologies that you want, where it will run and it will be relevant for the next 10-20 years. These are technologies that, so even if someone is going to buy a new PBX, you would rather suggest them to buy, say, something like an AI PBX, where it might sound like an investment today, but in the next 10 years, your technology is still relevant. It is that, so that in the next 10 years, you don't have to change it. You have relevant technology, you have always upgradable technology. If someone buys something old, it's like saying that today, obviously, the you would get, say, an iPhone 5 for very cheap because no one wants it. No technology runs on it. But also buying another system or buying the latest phone, you know that it will hold you good for the next 3, 4 years. You can do other things with the phone. New features would always be available on the phone. So multiple things like that. So when buying or when getting technology or when investing in technology, you always try looking that the question should be what is the feasibility or what is the relevance of this technology for the next coming years. So so those are, say, serious things you can do in the office. So you can also do fun things with the Jesse. So fun things with the AI PBX. For example, play a game with them. Wish happy birthday. So you can wish happy birthday where you can call the person and wish happy birthday, or play a birthday song on the speakers. Now, that could be one of the two possibilities. Sorry, 1 second, just give me a second. Yeah, so that could be other possibilities. So, for example, this year in our office, we played Secret Santa. Now, Secret Santa at Aztecs was not so. Normally, how Secret Santa is played is you have a bowl with names and everyone comes, picks up a name. But in our case, we had Jesse pick out the lot. So you would call Jesse, you would ask Jesse who my Secret Santa is, and then Jesse would assign you a name. So it is all random. No one knows. Like even the admin would not know. So everyone's involved in the game, and it is fun for everyone. And everyone learns the whole all features. Everyone starts using the system. So this year Jesse was on in Aztecs. Jesse was, or the Secret Santa was played using the AI PBX. So you can have fun games as well. It's not always office. You can put in fun games so that everyone can get used to it. So that's the features of the AI PBX. Now when you come to verticals, so the AI PBX can be implemented in multiple verticals. So one of the most basic where everyone would have most probably heard of PBX being implemented is office spaces. So and a lot of my examples that I mentioned before were relevant in office spaces where things like you can make a call, like I mentioned before, make a call, and then if your call connects, if your call doesn't connect from the extension, make it to the connect the call to another party. So all that is possible. Book conference rooms, send requests. So send requests are, like I mentioned before, send a leave request, send a meeting request, um, send a request to the maintenance team, send a request to the electrical team, send a request to your technical team if your laptop is not working. So all that could be done through this. Scheduling meetings, play a song, tell me a joke, send an SMS. So it is not that just these 7 features are available. It's it's that you can take up any more, or it could be the possibilities for this is endless. So once you bring in natural language, the functionality or the scope of what the bot can do is endless. So yeah. So in an office space, you can have multiple things. Now, another example would be in hospitals. So hospitals, doctors can call each other. Um, Doctors can call, departments can call. For example, someone in the radiology department wants to contact someone in the ophthalmology department. Now, how do you do it? You just call and you say, connect me to the ophthalmology. It would connect to the common extensions in the ophthalmology. Now, announce to speakers. You can either announce to speakers, schedule it to a zone. You can multiple functionalities that you can bring through the speakers. Check room availability. Now, check room availability is so in a hospital environment, you have rooms, surgery rooms now, or ICUs. Now, how do doctors know in general if these rooms are available. Normally, what the doctor would have to do is he would have to call administration, check if it is available. Administration would have to check their DB. So you have people involved throughout the process. Rather, so there is an investment of people, there's an investment of time. Sorry, yeah. So there's an investment of people, there's an investment of time, there's multiple people. So it's when you look at it, it's an expense to the hospital, or it is a lot of people involved just to check if one room is free. Rather, we could integrate it with their software there, so that if a room is available, we could always tell you, yeah, this room is available. So then blocking unavailable doctors. Blocking unavailable doctors is like mentioned before, if you have for example, if you have if you have, say, now a doctor's gone to surgery, he's blocked it on his calendar saying he's in surgery from say 8 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. Now these doctors won't be available to take calls. So whenever a call comes in, it could say, sorry, this doctor is currently not available, he's in surgery. Order to the pharmacy. Now a pharmacy is generally staffed by a few people for a large hospital. So now picking up the call and getting orders would be impractical, or it is a lot of effort. Rather, like I mentioned before, even for the pharmacy, you can always just submit requests to their ticket management software. The pharmacy could fulfill demands. Now, in terms of order to the pharmacy, we could have a little more levels of, what do you say, a little more levels of complexity for the order, where it could ask you if the room number is not there, it could ask you the room number or the patient age or the patient identification. Any of those systems could be brought in. Now, smart call routing based on symptoms. So say, for example, now if someone calls in, the first level of diagnostics could be on the AIPBX, where it doesn't tell you it can tell you what the issue is, but the first level could always be on the AIPBX, where if someone says, I have temperature and a cold, then it could route you to a department. Or if someone says my skin is dry, we could route them to the dermatology department. So based on what the symptoms are, it could smartly route them to each department. Sending an SMS. So sending an SMS could be things like saying code blue, code red, any of those. So any of those could be integrated into this. So even just not code blue, code red, even things like it could make a call or any of those. Sorry. Yeah. Now, smart incoming call manager. So this could be relevant in offices, anywhere where there is support. So support in terms of large call centers, support in terms of large organizations, any support system where you have a lot of incoming calls and repeated questions. So for example, things like answering FAQs. Now, a lot of questions in call centers. We have implemented systems where once you there were around 100 call center agents, and then once this was bought, it reduced to 30, where it is cutting down the manpower, where the considerable effort. So to the company, it is a large cost saving, because all questions where it could be that repetitive questions. So for things like what is my order status, or where is my order, what is my return policy, all this could be handled at the most basic level. Now, raising tickets, similar to this, if say it is a 24/7 call center, but you're only staffing for 8 hours, the other hours, if say the first level support or your answering FAQs did not complete the process, we could always raise a ticket so that if someone comes the next day, it can answer those questions. So that is the next level support. Now, Again, first level support is more like answering FAQs, scheduling appointments, 24/7 support. So you can think of AI PBX as a very smart employee, as in a very smart employee in the sense that it does not need any downtime. It's a smart and efficient employee, and the knowledge or how smart the employee is would depend on what kind of knowledge. So the more you teach it, the more it knows, the more it can get involved in solving issues for your organization. Trainable triggers. So things like if your system is if say you have a temperature sensor on in your server room, and now if your temperature in your server room goes above a certain limit, you want calls to go to so and so people. You want to tell them the temperature in the server room has gone to so and so. What should you do about it? Should you turn on the ACs? Now, if someone says yes, turn on the ACs, it could say connect, since it's already connected to your ACs via because of the smart connection, it could connect to the ACs, turn on the ACs, and regulate the temperature. So trainable triggers can trigger and then get a response action and then perform another action based on the response action as well. Now, send SMS. Send SMSs are so you can send SMSs like mentioned before. Now, verticals. So in verticals, you have retail stores and online stores as well. Now, retail stores, so suggestions. So smart suggestions are something that's always there. So when you look at your Amazon cart nowadays, it says based on your previous order, these are your suggestions, or because you searched for so and so, these are your suggestions. It does not only have to be in retail stores or online. Even if you look at, say, Netflix or Amazon Prime, it says because your last viewed was, or because you liked so and so show, these are your suggestions. So similar to that, say you are a retail store where you're giving out groceries. Now, mm, the bot can, based on your interaction with the store, it knows that maybe first weekend of every month is when you buy rice for the house. So if when you call, it can ask you, do you want to also add rice to your cart? You buy it every month. Or if you have a child, you call every week. So the bot could call you, because knowing that every week you buy diapers, so the bot could call you after a week asking, you haven't bought any diapers this week. Would you like to purchase diapers? So it could suggest, so smart suggestions based on activities. Now, order statuses. Like mentioned before, order statuses is one of the most common questions when you are in a retail or a support store. So um, order statuses can be handled at a bot level, where it is just checking the status of the order, which would help you save a lot in manpower and time. User specific options. So user specific offers are things like, for example, if you have I have a dog. Now all my I would not it would not make I get offers because I buy dog products that often. The bot could suggest me that, hey Abu, see now, I have offers for these dog products currently running. Would you be interested in it? But for the same time, it would not make sense for someone who doesn't own a dog to give them dog products. So each user or each client of the store can be studied, and then we can model or we can give suggestions based on their interaction with the store. Pickup reminders. Now, if you place an order in a retail store that doesn't have home delivery, the bot, once the order is fulfilled and marked on the system, automatically the bot can call and tell your item is ready, please pick it up. 24/7 support. Again, as mentioned before, trainable triggers, and troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is another thing where just like order status or users, just like order status, troubleshooting, most basic troubleshooting things. For example, if you buy things and it's not, say your laptop is not turning on, or you don't know how to turn your laptop on. Now, things like this, it is a common set of instructions that would be tried by your, say, even if you call a person, he can only give you suggestions or he can only help you till a certain level before you have to submit the laptop. So now those things that, or those steps that can be performed for troubleshooting can be handled by the bot. So so it's not limited. Again, the features or the verticals are not limited to what's mentioned here. It could be much more. It is an open ocean. It's a large open ocean where the end possibilities are endless. So now, listening to all this, anyone would ask, then what is the difference between having an AI PBX compared to having a smart home device like Alexa or Google Home or any of those? So, firstly, would be that this is the AI PBX is present on every desk. So, it would not be practical to have, say, a Google Home or an Alexa sitting on every desk. Now, and you can't carry your Google Home or Alexa with you wherever you go. Now, since it is an extension register, you can have it on every desk. You can have it on your phone. You can have it anywhere you want. So your assistant is always with you. Now connect to intra-office extensions. So the Google Home or any of those smart home devices do not, it is like I said before, you, if you, any of those systems, you have to model yourself around it. Rather, the AI PBX is modeled around you, what your needs are and what your applications for the AI PBX is. It's based on that the AI PBX is modeled. Where in this case, smart home devices, you cannot. Uh, it is what you get is what you use. So that is another thing where you can't connect with inter-office extensions, or you can't connect with your existing PBX. Now dial outside the office. So even when you want to make a call to a client, lots of organizations say that making a call to a client, you would have to use your official number. Now you cannot connect your official number or your trunk to your Google Home or smart home device and then make a call where the end client would still see your official number. Customized based on organizational requirement. So again, the bot is modeled to your organization rather than you modeling to the bot. Integrate with smart devices, smart switches. Yes. So now you can, or Google Home or any of those devices can integrate with smart home or smart devices. But the core difference is that it can, it will give you an action or it will give you a response, but it cannot perform another response based on your response. So things like, because it is, for example, you tell turn the AC on, yes, it will turn the AC on, but you can always also say if the AC is on for more than 5 hours and there's no one in the room, turn it off. Now it has to integrate with other systems to know that no one's in the room. Now, maybe it has to integrate with your conference room system to know that there are no scheduled meetings and the AC is still on. Or so integrate with, so then it can. So these devices, the smart home devices do integrate with other systems. It's just that you have another level or another level of comfort when integrating with the AI PBX. Integration with other solutions such as CRMs and ERPs, like I mentioned before, you can integrate with other CRMs, ERPs, ticket management, your attendance system. Any of those applications can be integrated with the AI PBX as well. So, so now, one thing is when I've mentioned before that if your AI PBX say now you have an existing AI PBX and then you want to make it a smart, no, you have an existing PBX, sorry, and you want to make it a smart PBX or an AI PBX. I mentioned before that you will bring in our system which can connect to your PBX, but so there is a limitation where it would also depend on the vendor, where the vendor of the PBX would let us connect. So we can look into that as well. Yeah, so that is my webinar. Thank you so much everyone for joining. If you have any doubts, what we will do is any doubts or questions, we will go through it. And then I hope it brings more clarity.
Thank you. Thank you, Abu, for your wonderful presentations and for the taking us through how the AI projects revolutionize the business communications. We have a couple of questions coming up from the participants. So we'll be starting one by one for the questions. Before starting the questions, again, I would request all the participants, if you have any queries, you can just put it in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself or raise your hand and enable your video so that we can have a one-to-one discussions on the doubts or any questions that you have in your mind. Now, starting with the first questions. The first question has come from Mr. Amulya Das. His question is, what is the difference between the IP-PBX and AI IP-PBX?
So thank you, Amelia, for that question. So yeah, so an IP PBX is a traditional phone system where the IP PBX is focused on telephony. Now, an AI PBX is much more than that. It is what we are calling the disruption in the telecom market or disruption in the industry, where it is not only a box that does telecom, it has much more capabilities, much more integration, much more interaction with clients. So all those features can be bought in when we have AI PBX.
Thank you. It was clear towards the end. It was a question I raised so early during the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Abu. The next question has come from Mr. Marcin. Mr. Marcin has asked that this can be done by the Amazon, the Alexa, or Google Home. So why an expensive server?
Okay, so when you actually look at it, it is not an expensive server where, okay, maybe my last slide has given you the comparison between having an Alexa or a Google Home rather than this. But also when you look at it in an office environment, keeping a server would be much cheaper than having an Alexa or a Google Home in every desk. Also thinking about the integration capabilities of Alexa or Google Home for you to actually use it as something that is within your office environment would give you a different level of comfort in both solutions.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
I
Abu.
think
I
is
hope
that clear, Mr. Markin?
yeah. Mr. Marcin, if you have any further queries, you can unmute and enable your video so that we can answers to your queries. Moving on to the next questions, Mr. Amit Kumar has asked, so you're trying to replace IVR with the voice IVR?
No, so it is not that we are trying to replace IVR with voice IVR. It is more, it's like saying, okay, electric vehicles are easier to drive than petrol vehicles. It's not that it'll completely replace it. There will be still systems that are always in normal IVR, say things where you want to enter a large number of digits. All that would still be normal IVRs. But yes, voice IVRs make it easier for everyone, make it more user friendly as well. So yes.
Okay, I hope Mr. Amit, your query has been answered, or if you have any further queries, you can ask. Uh, Going to the next questions, Mr. Vijay has asked, so this needs an extra hardware or a software in the PBX?
So if it is you are buying the AI PBX from us, it would be within one hardware itself and it would be loaded with the AI functionality. If it is, say, you have an existing PBX and we would have to integrate with the existing PBX, yes, there would be another hardware. Correct.
Okay. Next question is from, yes, Mr. Vijay.
No, I think that answered the question. Thank you, Abu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you. The next question has come from Mr. Murugan. His question is that this system can work in offline without the internet.
Yes, these so models can be trained to work offline without the internet as well. It's just that there are models available on the internet as well where you have an improved level of accuracy. But yes, we can develop it offline. That wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But
The next
in
question
terms
is
of
again,
sorry, in terms of accuracy, offline to online models, there is a difference in accuracy. So things like maybe if speech to text, you want Google's engine, all those are online models.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question is again from Mr. Vijay. Can this be integrated with a third-party PBX system?
Yeah, so theoretically, yes, you can integrate with third-party PBX systems. We would have to have an interaction with the vendor to do so. So the third-party PBX or whichever PBX system is currently present, we will have to work closely with the vendor, and depending on his system capabilities as well, it wouldn't be a problem. Basic features such as say joke, weather, all that would not even need a lot of interaction from his side for us to pull off. It is more when you get to more complicated features that we would actually need his interaction or his support as well for the integration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is from Mr. Adarsh. Can we change the existing IP PBX to AI PBX?
So, like mentioned before, you can say replace the server, replace your existing IP PBX, or you can have the server integrated with your IP PBX.
So please,
नाही ते नाही एस्टिमेट टाइम झाला पण तुम्हाला ऍक्च्युअली एवढा लागला का लागला याच्यामुळे लागला
Yeah, I think we can go. Adarsh, Mr. Adarsh, if your questions answered, we can go.
It's not clear. Can you please repeat one example?
Yeah, so well, like mentioned before, you can do it two ways. So you can either replace your existing IP PBX to an AI PBX, where we would give you a PBX, IP PBX loaded with AI functionality. Or if you have an existing PBX, we can add a voice gateway or a voice gateway to the to your existing PBX, where we would need the vendor support as well. And then it would be an IPPBX, AI IPPBX.
I hope, Mr. Adarsh, your question has been cleared, or
Clear,
you need
thank you.
further clarification. Okay, thank you. The next question is from Mr. Martin. He has a multiple question. First question is it the two server IPPBX and a voice gateway?
Yeah, so it can be one or two servers. So just like I mentioned in the previous answer, it can either be an IPPBX that is loaded with AI, which makes it the AI IPPBX, or it can be as IPPBX and a separate voice gateway. So any of those two models can be adopted.
Okay. His second question is, will these understand the foreign accents like Siri does?
Yes, so it can understand foreign accents as well. The model can be trained on foreign accents, multiple languages. So all that the model can be trained. So depending on your use case, it can be trained on any of those.
His third question is, can the handle word change from Jesse to something else?
Definitely. So the handle word can change from Jesse to anything else. So it just said within the office, we wanted to give it a name. So we started calling it Jesse. Tomorrow it can be anything. So depending on what you wanted, yeah, Jesse is just a handle we have given it.
Thank you. I hope, Mr. Machin, your queries has been answered. Next question has come from Mr. Murugan. We always need to update the AI PBX. His question is, do we always need to update the AI PBX?
I'm not very clear on what that.
Yeah, Mr. Murugan, if you are online, you can just unmute and if you can brief what is your queries.
Okay, I want to ask this AI PBX, I need it update every time for the features.
No, so if you have a set of features that, say, for example, you have defined that your AI PBX would want, say, so and so features when initially, and so then we would create the model based on that. So it's like saying, today if you have a software and now you want to bring in, obviously if you want to bring in a new feature into software, we would have to update the model for you. But otherwise, yeah, so based on it, if it is a model that you're using from the beginning and there is no change to it, you do not have to update it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
you. The next question is from Mr. Marcin again. He said, what is the capacity? Like, can it handle the 2000 employees, at least 500 requests at once?
Not a problem. It can handle, it can, so this purely depends on what your server capacity is. So, yes, it can handle any number of requests. So based on the number of employees, we would always give a server that is tailored to handle that many requests. So that wouldn't be a problem to handle.
Okay. Again, okay, so Mr. Murugan, next question is how this secure with the third party call and ask sales information if we integrate with the company CRM.
How to secure a third party call and ask? No, so
Yeah.
when I think you were Mr. Murugan, I think you're asking about the example where I said what is my monthly sales. Is that the reason why you've asked this question?
Yeah, let's say the third party means the outsider, call our office extension, and they also can request how much the sales, everything. Is any secure? Because you
No,
can.
no. So that won't happen. So we would obviously put security in place where it is only from certain extensions that you can make the call. Now, if you want additional security things, maybe sensitive information like that, we can have a PIN. But an external person would not be, his channel or his telephone communication would be on another channel itself. So he would never have access to these APIs. So that way, security would be managed by us.
If let's say I'm in the outside, I want to check the information, like sales information, how I can do it? If I know local
So
office.
if your organization has, say for example, now your number is registered on the PBX. So we know that Mr. Murugan's number is so and so. So now when a call comes from your number, we can set it that anyone who's an registered office user, he can ask requests like what is my sales, what is my revenue, but another person who is not registered in the list would not have access to that.
If anybody use my mobile to call in, anything is
Yeah,
secure?
No. So if you want another level of security for that, we can always add a PIN.
Okay.
We can always do, yeah. So if there is if you want another level of security, if it is things like this, we can add a PIN as well. So you call when you ask what is my monthly sales target, then Jesse can say, please enter your secure PIN. Based on after your secure authentication is done, then it gives you the reply.
Because why I'm asking is because people can masking the number and calling the office and to check the information.
No, we can add a PIN as well. Not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is again from Mr. Marcin. What happens to requests that the AI can't understand? Will that result in a missing lead?
No, so requests that AI can't understand, we've already dealt with such thing because, for example, when I mentioned before, the AI could be your smartest and most efficient employee, but how smart the AI is would always depend on how much you teach it or how much it learns. Now, it is not that the AI 100% knows everything that's happening. There are instances where the AI doesn't know what is happening. So to handle that, what we have done is there is on the CRM. So currently also when anyone in the office is using the CRM, if, for example, there is something that the AI can't understand, it creates a ticket called unknown intent, as in the AI doesn't know what it is supposed to do with that. So, because otherwise, like you mentioned, you will lose the lead. So, losing a lead is painful. So, rather than that, then the person can take over. So, we can do multiple things. We can either create a ticket, or we can say, sorry, I don't know this. Let me connect you to a human, and then connect to the human as well. Any of these can be done.
Okay. His next question is, does we missed out the incoming order if the internet is slow or down?
Depends on what your model is. So see, there are multiple factors to this. So things like, even if you're not running the APBX and if you're using a phone, if your phone line is down, yes, you will lose incoming orders. So you can have multiple lines, you can have redundancies. So all that are technical things that could be solved without having a single point of failure.
Okay, I hope Mr. Marchins, your query has been cleared. If you have any further questions, you can unmute and ask the questions. Moving on to the next question is come from Ms. Urbila. She has a multiple question. How does the AI enhance the call routing and handling? That is his first questions.
Okay, so AI enhanced call routing and handling. So one, in terms of call routing, like I mentioned before, you don't have to say connect me to Abu. Say, for example, I'm part of the product team. You can always say connect me to the product team, because if it's not a specific person that you would want to connect to, but generally anyone in the product team or generally anyone in the admin team, you can always just say connect me to the product team and it routes the call. But at the same time, you can have things like for now call routing itself based on symptoms you can route, like I mentioned in the hospital case. So multiple rules or multiple scenarios where call AI can enhance call routing. Call handling, like I mentioned before, first level support, general FAQs, booking, all that can be done through the AI.
Okay. Her second question is it compatible with the popular CRM platform?
I think you missed one. Can your AI PBX seamlessly integrate with existing communication
No,
tools?
that has been answered. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have answered that previously as well. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I think the questions was the second questions.
No, so we go to the third one. Is it compatible with popular CRM platforms? Yes. So
Yes.
we have integrated with popular CRM platforms as well, and so any CRM platform where integration is allowed, yes, we can do it. It would not be a problem. It's just that the
Okay, the
CRM
next.
platform has to be open for the integration.
Thank you. The next question is how analytics and reporting tools are included to track the call matrix performance.
So in terms of analytics and reporting tools, we have another system called QMS, which is your call to management system. But in terms of the AI PBX, call metrics really doesn't come into. You can log information where you have high traffic, or times when you have high traffic, time questions where the AI fails, or most asked questions. All these can be handled by the AI. For example, now things like say your AI doesn't know a certain question, but for let me think. Okay, yeah. So say for example, now it's Christmas season, and you haven't trained your AI to tell how tall are the Christmas trees that you're selling. Now the AI doesn't know how tall the Christmas trees that you're selling is now, because it is not in its knowledge base. Now you can always see that, say maybe if 20 or 30 similar questions come like that, we can set up a trigger where it is analyzing the incoming tickets to know that this is a popular question. So then what can happen is you can retrain the AI so that the next time someone asks this, you can give the answer. So you have call metrics, you can analyze, we can look into tracking tickets, tracking unknown intents, all that.
Okay. And last question is, can the system generate reports on call patterns, peak times, and other relevant data?
100%. So like I mentioned before, this can be done. Call patterns, peak times, concurrency, all those reports can easily be done.
Thank you. I hope, Ms. Urmila, your question has been answered. If you have any further questions, you can just unmute and ask.
No, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
okay. Moving to the next questions, Mr. Murugan has asked that this AI can integrate with the debt management system. If yes, can share the details.
Yeah, so we would just need a little more details on what the integration you're looking for would be. So I think someone from my team can get in touch with you, and then we can have a separate call where you can elaborate a little more what you want the integration to be, and then yes, we can take it ahead from there.
Okay, thank you. This is a message from Mr. David in Spanish. As I just going through the Google translations, he has wished Merry Christmas from Trinidad and Tobago. Merry Christmas to you, Mr.
Merry
David,
Christmas,
as
Mr.
well.
David.
The next question has come from Mr. Anurag. Can we send WhatsApp and other chat system?
So yes, we can integrate with WhatsApp. So it's not just that you can send messages on WhatsApp. You can have this whole bot running on WhatsApp. I think we have taken another webinar as well where the whole bot itself, you can have another bot separately just running on WhatsApp to do almost the same functionalities, but on a chat medium. Yes, you can integrate with other chat systems and WhatsApp or anything like that.
Okay. The next question has come from Ms. Neetu. What all languages will AI PBX support?
So currently we have done for the examples right now, or in our office currently it's doing English, but if any other language is required as well, it's not a problem. So it can support multiple languages, multiple accents, multiple regions. So it would not be a problem to have it for other languages.
Yeah. Okay, our next question is from somebody, his name is not been displayed. He said that can we integrate external API like Google API, or should it require a database for getting the data?
No, so we can integrate. So we can integrate with Google APIs. So it's not that it has to have a database. It can be API connectivity as well. It's not a problem. We can integrate with Google APIs.
Okay, Mr. David has requested to send it across his WhatsApp number. I would like to inform that all the webinar recordings I will be shared with you through your registered email IDs after these presentations. The next question has come from Mr. Arvind. Can these be integrated with existing setup, or we need an upgradations?
So it can be with existing, both models as mentioned before can be done, existing setup, or you can have another PBX itself. Both can be done. So existing setup, again, as mentioned, we would need maybe involvement of the vendor to connect with it. But yes, it can be done, not a problem.
Okay, the next question is from, yes, Mr. Arvind, you have any further queries?
No, thank you.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Abhay. Can we see the demonstration of AI EPABX?
Yeah, so you like the AI PBX, yes. So it is yeah, so our existing ePBX, yes, we can set up a demo for you. Someone from my team can get in touch with you and show you the demonstration. But yes, we can show you. And if you have anything specific in mind, you can tell us as well. So I think you can note this down and we can get in touch.
Yeah, someone from our regional managers or our franchise managers will keep in touch with you. The second question is from Hima. She asked that can we install this software in the existing Asks IP PBX, or additional server is required? I hope you.
Existing, so maybe not on your E50, but maybe E500 and up. Yeah. So on your existing IPPBX itself, it can happen. So it's just that the AIPBX also has a hardware demand for process to run smoothly. So maybe, so if you have, say, from an E500 and up, yes, we can put it on the E500 and up right away. But if it's some maybe a lower EPBX, a lower IPPBX, then we'll have to have a voice gateway or upgrade the whole system itself.
Thank you. I hope Ms. Hima, your query has been answered. Next question is from Mr. Ashok. About the orders from vendors, how can it be integrated?
So orders from vendors, so multiple things could be orders from vendors. So is it order status, return? So all that, if you have, if there is a software where we can get this information, we can integrate the AI PBX with that software. So when an incoming call comes, we can always check in on the check in on your software for this vendor, what is the current status, and then show it back. So yes, we can, if that is the flow that you are talking about, yes, it can be done. And yeah.
Okay. Mr. Sibu Kumar, okay, I have that. Okay. Looks like this is the last questions. If anybody has any queries, you can put up in the WhatsApp, or you can, sorry, on the chat box, or you can just unmute and ask the questions before we wrap up. And or we have completed all the question and answers. Okay. So before we wrap up, thank you so much all the participants for participating in this webinar, and I hope you have enjoyed and had the information on AI PBX. If you have any further queries or any requirements that you're looking for, you can keep in touch with our sales managers or a franchise manager, or you can inbox us in the info@astix.com. The recording of this webinar will be shared with you with your registered email address, and you can keep watching on this. So till we have another webinar, till then, take care and bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.